Much love and many blessings. Moving on to the sign of Capricorn, which is our Earth cardinal sign. Definitely moving through the Aries season for Capricorn. When we tapped into the spirit message for you this season, we have a very blunt and direct message dealing with asking for help. And when we're asking for help with this message, as you're letting this resonate with your spirit, this may give you a pause. It may make you kind of chuckle to yourself for a moment, because this is a discernment call. Because how often are you the one willing to do the work, knowing what you want for yourself and who can do it better than you? So this is a flipping of the role. This is a situation in which you've been really wanting significant changes within your space. What do you really need, and are you willing to accept support? Sometimes if the work is too great, or if a situation calls for you to admit a vulnerability, you may decide to do what's necessary on your end to see what you can do yourself, rather than actually to bring in the needs, bring in the resources, the tools that could make the job easier. This really brings into awareness this time period where we just faced, we're really kind of going through the Sunday Easter energy. We just had the Libra full moon. So we're shifting into new connections. There's been a lot of seedings taking place. A lot of passionate energy that's come to the surface with the new moon in Pisces and the full moon in Libra, which is strengthening the longevity of our connections. But for you specifically, Capricorn, there's another pivotal thing that's taking place. And during this Aries season, you may be feeling that like an omen or a premonition of some of the things that are seeding, especially with the end of this month and actually coming out of the Aries season. We'll be moving into the Pluto retrograde, which is in Capricorn. So this significantly, as you've been maybe feeling yourself go through this month and wondering why there's this sporadic feeling of emotions and energy changes, and that's because your spirit is aware of something coming up in the immediate future that, hey, things are about to change. What is it that I don't need within my energy field anymore? Pluto being the sign of death, Pluto being the sign of transformation, is dealing with what things are dropping off or dying off within your energy field that you no longer need. And because Pluto is a planet that is slower moving, it's usually going to represent ancestral patterns and generational patterns more so than the immediate things associated with like Mars and Mercury. Pluto is out there, so it's going to be dealing with ancestral movement and karmic movement. So there's some big karmic movements taking place for you with the Pluto being in Capricorn, and how you can shift your productivity, how you can shift that planet being ruled by Saturn, how you can shift the lines that are holding the resistances to what's been keeping you complacent and holding you back. So it's time to ask for help. There is a period coming to you in this season and shaping up for you. It's calling into your awareness that, hey, it is time for me to realize, it's time for you to realize and accept that you cannot do this all on your own, to accept that there are things that you don't know, to accept that what you desire and what you've been really pushing toward is within your grasp, but you need help, that you have to let go of this perception. Four of Cups popping out, you have to let go of this perception that you are holding on to, that everything is so precious. This is a very precious thing for you, but you're not willing to budge emotionally. You're not willing to let anyone in. This is also called the same. You're not willing to admit that the situation calls for you, that you simply can't do this on your own. You hate having to admit this. It almost makes me feel like a Six of Pentacles energy, because there's a need for charity, or let me rephrase, there's a need for humility and admitting that, hey, it is okay to not always have it all together. You are the mirror of what you put out into the world, and sometimes being that person that can make so many things happen also means that you have to be able to see what it's like to be on the receiving end of that as well, so that you can empower yourself and be an even greater person that does not need help, that does not need support. You cannot know what it's like to not need support, or to walk in the solidarity of the choices and the things that are no longer needed in your energy field, if you're not seeing this from all angles. And speaking specifically to the end of this month, and just April 27th or 28th, and the Pluto retrograde and just the impacts that are taking place. It's really a call of awareness, especially with this Aries season, for you to just bring awareness to what you've been desiring. What is it that you've been putting off and has been holding you back? Like, what have you simply just been throwing your energy into and just feeling like you have to make the most of what you're presented with? You're not speaking up. There's Four of Cups and this Ask for Help is showing that you're not speaking up. There's something that's on your heart. There's something that is on your heart that has been bothering you, that's been making you sleep over, that you've been really just contemplating and been in a very emotional, mental space about, that is just not satisfied to you, and that it is time to address this matter. It's time to stop pushing it under the rug. It keeps coming up in every aspect of your life. It keeps coming up in your dreams. It keeps coming up in your daydreams. You keep throwing yourself into other tasks and simply not addressing the matter at hand. Yes, the Emperor showing up is a very Aries energy. Represents Aries, so there's a very headstrong nature about the emotional matters going on. That with the Four of Cups being here as flopping out, and with the Emperor being a very headstrong and a vitality energy of the Ankh. There's definitely an energy that's very set in their way, so this is a very emotional set way. This is also reflecting that you've been hurt and that you've suffered traumas in such a way that when your heart has been exposed, that has not left you with a sensation that has left you feeling like, yes, let me divulge everything about me that's been going on. I don't want, no, it's more of a, I don't want to revisit these situations because Ten of Pentacles, I don't feel that I will necessarily get my due. There's an inversion in this as well with a very earthly sensation, and dealing with the earth, you may not be feeling that you will be able to draw in the material and draw in the physical around you that is representative of what you are seeing before you. You may not even feel that your energy will produce what could bring you the desired outcome of your heart. But this is a spirit call saying that no matter how much energy you put in of yourself, that there's just simply a missing piece, and the missing piece is support. You have to ask for help. You have to really decide what it is you need, because the universe is saying to you that you can have what you want now. You can have the desires that you want now. You've been thinking on this so much. Why are you only keeping this energy within a water state? Why is this energy only internal? Why are you only meditating on this energy? Why are you not putting this energy out? There's clearly an abundance with the Emperor. Anytime the Emperor shows up, there's such an abundance available to you. And the Emperor shows up as well when there's a physicality. So this is showing that you're not only not asking for help, that you're putting in work where you may not necessarily even need to. When the Emperor shows up, the Emperor may use nature and divinity or use intuitive feelings without actually delving deeper, and just uses them from operating from the surface. So with the situations that are really pulling on your heart, which is why the Four of Cups is coming up for you during this time, during the Aries season, your emotions have been all over the place. You've been experiencing, whether it's shifting dynamics within your relationship dynamics, you're meeting new people, and you're not used to the dynamics in which you are being presented with. Operating from an old mindset with the Emperor is literally going to rob you of the current dynamic. This is a new age and a new perception, so the dynamic that you may be judging the situation from may not, Ten of Pentacles, may not be producing the results or the desired outcome that you feel it should be producing. But the fact that this is showing up, the fact that the Ten of Pentacles and asking for help is showing up, is representing or resonating from a space within your energy field that you've only been putting the mental energy into this, and there's an entitlement. And the entitlement is coming from the fact that because you spent so much emotional and mental energy on the matter, and you're not willing to show the humility necessary to ask for help, that the situation is not changing because you're holding a perception, you're holding a stigma, a dogma of what this new thing is you want. If this is dealing heavily with relationships and heavily with how you feel that you should be represented within your workspaces and within your new connections shaping up within your life. And this has a lot to do with the emotional energy that you give to the situations at hand. with Aries being the energy that's taking place during this time, and you being a cardinal sign, it's very easy for you to move with your initial feelings, to move with the knowing. The Saturn has a natural knowing and cynicism that can come with it. It can come off as fact finding, but it can come off as, it can also be an undertone of cynicism. And because of that, you may already be in the knowing of the feelings that are coming into your awareness during this time, even if those feelings could abruptly change. Being that is sometimes the nature of Aries disposition, and you may not necessarily be giving enough credit to honoring the deeper parts of yourself and honoring the fact that, hey, maybe if this keeps coming up in my energy field, maybe if this thing keeps revisiting me, maybe the impacts of my heart, I need to be honest about the authentic feelings that I'm desiring. You're shooting down and you're denying that something that you are feeling about a matter, about a person, about a situation is not what would give you enjoyment. And that mental state is robbing you of your authentic self, of your shadow self, of what your desires it is that you could have during this time. You're looking at the menu, which is why you see the Ten of Pentacles. You're looking at the menu, but you're simply choosing not to order that because what? You're on your vegan diet today. Okay, who knows that but you? Because your spirit wants to have the cheat day, but you gotta maintain images. You gotta tell yourself and deny the things, the sensations, and the touches and the impacts that you're feeling within your energy field. As you move through this Aries season, let this message resonate within your deepest parts of yourself, especially with your Capricorn placements, especially with Capricorn moon placements, and if you have any Capricorn placements that are deeply affected by the moon. This is a time to allow this to sync up within your spirit and take the deepest breath, because Aries is a sign of autopiloted manifestation. It's a time to go inward and to really discern where your emotional awareness is, so that you can decide to not keep holding on to certain matters, keeping a closed fist around your heart, a closed fist around the possible opportunities that could be taking place if you simply ask for help. And what areas can you ask for help in releasing the fear that still holds you to complacency, that still holds you to the same old routine and karmic patterns? As you take your divine breath, in what areas can you resonate and allow love to offer a new outcome and to bring you the richest rewards of your heart's desire? Meditate on these things as we move through the Aries season, as we prepare for the Capricorn retrograde, and enjoy this Easter Sunday. Much love, many blessings, and Ashe.